Welcome back, fellow weebs. In this episode of the Bionicle Inspiration series, we're going to be looking at mocks that are taking inspiration from anime. Whether that's just straight up building a character from a show, or building a Bionicle character that's loosely inspired by something anime related. So let's get going, shall we? We got 6 beautiful mocks to show you today. Cyanova32 has created the first mock that we'll be spotlighting, and this is called Agent Jermac Code Waterstar. Now, if you're not familiar with them, Jermac is an official Bionicle character, but they don't have any actual known images of what they look like, only written lore that describes who they are, what they do, all that kind of stuff. So Cyanova has brought this character to life, and if you check out their Instagram page, you'll see that they've actually built Jermac in a variety of different color schemes, and I love that so much. It's like giving them a new skin in a video game, and so I guess this one is just like a GRENINJA skin, isn't it? I'm sure most of you know who GRENINJA is, but if you don't, he's a very fan-loved Pokemon, of course, from the anime Pokemon. And I think Cyanova did a wonderful job of capturing both the color scheme as well as the essence of the character. And this is just such a sick idea, isn't it? Taking any one of the thousands of Pokemon designs that exist and copying either just its color scheme or even kind of the rough shape or its aesthetic, and using that to springboard a brand new mock. I think it does help that his design for Jermac was already pretty similar to GRENINJA, but hey, this feels like a match made in heaven. So good. And there's so many different Pokemon designs out there that are going to translate really well into Bionicle mocks. So go watch some Pokemon, go play some Pokemon, go buy some Pokemon cards, and let those designs inform you next time you build. I do like this head design, it's got a nice energy to it. The sleek angles of the invasion from below visor piece for the face, it mixes well with the wonderful, I guess kind of ponytail design that's going on. Sensational. And shuriken weapons. Ooh, I like that. You don't really see that every day on a Bionicle. Swords and staffs and guns, they're cool. Shurikens, even better. Up next is a recreation of Chainsaw Man, and this was built by Lagrange Skywalker. Mate, this is really accurate to the source material. Great work using some system curved slopes to mimic the look of his shirt and his pants. And the pose that he's standing in, and the explosion below, this looks like some kind of high-end collectible statue. It's wonderful. Oh, and there is some insane part use going on here. The mouth design is using some of these Friends cupcake trays for teeth. I mean, that looks so good. Very clever part use. Now, the chainsaws themselves, using some of these brown vine pieces, the same ones that came on the minifigure for AVAC, as well as a variety of other different sets. But yeah, using them to recreate the kind of sharp tips of the edge of a chainsaw. Genius. And the way that these lines kind of stick out in different directions, and how they also are mixed in with other spiky looking pieces. That is so good. It gives this creation such a wild and reckless look. It's insane. But looking at the tip of the chainsaw on his face, I don't see any Lego logos on those studs. And some of the trans red pieces on the base, some of those trans red pieces definitely don't exist. So I imagine this mock is using a good amount of fake Lego. I mean, even like the cupcake pieces on the mouth that we were talking about, those don't actually come in silver. Oh well. It's a shame that this isn't using official Lego pieces. But hey, a lot of these great techniques, you could still build them and put them in other Bionicle mocks using official parts. Just because it isn't Lego doesn't mean we can't learn a lot from this design. Tonta has built Jotaro, a character from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I tell you what, man, this looks perfect. Great job taking the official look and translating it to Lego perfectly. The abs, the pecs, those have been recreated very well. The 2 belts too, that's a nice touch. And I quite enjoy this coat. The way that it hugs the sides of the torso and then flows down the back of the legs is fantastic. We can see that some of the different sections have large gaps in between them, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice if this was just one big chunk of simulated cloth. But I imagine that those gaps are there so that these can bend and flex. And that way, if the figure poses, the coat's not going to get in the way. The coat can just move with the limbs. Well, I assume this mock can pose. He's not actually posing in any of these photos, but the design looks like it would be able to do so. Man, I wish some photos were included of this dude posing. And then great idea to create some fake pockets. Placing a couple of these inverted wedge pieces on the hands, and then just holding them close to the pants. It really does look like pockets. Such a simple idea, but man, does it look good. And hey, if you like JoJo, then PowJump has built Civil War, a stand from the 7th part of JoJo titled Steel Ball Run. Honestly, dude, this is immaculate. Placing the mock side by side with the source material, oh, PowJump, you did a really good job. My favorite part, of course, has to be the use of these Elec claw pieces. These pieces came on Elec, they were his claws, hence the name. And yeah, they might be called Elec claws, but they really should be called Civil War head pieces, because this is literally the perfect piece to use to recreate that face. It looks so similar. Who would have thought? I like too how the torso design is using 2 of Tahu Nuva's masks on the top there. That's a nice way to design the torso. And I do like how they've recreated these purple areas on the arms and the legs. Yo man, this is sick. Up next we have Exodia, and this was made by Tungli9. Yo, it's so good to see some Yu-Gi-Oh love. It's not really something that's all that common to see built out of Lego. Now, once again, super accurate and very well created. Nice idea to use some of these large tire pieces to mimic the shackles around his hands and legs. Now, we do have a little bit of black cloth for this waist cloth. Now, sure, this should be gold if you want to be accurate to the source material. But who cares? There's not really a lot of gold cloth pieces out there, especially ones that are going to look exactly like the source material. So I'm kind of happy with this having a different color. Plus, I think it actually ties in nicely with the black of the tires. Sometimes you got to make a few changes and substitutions, and I don't think that's a problem. If anything, I think it gives this creation a unique, personal touch, and it injects a little bit of the personality of the builder into it. I always like seeing that personally. I also like this image here showing the mock split apart. This way it looks like the original cards for this character. Yeah, nice touch. Oh, and how about this shoulder design, using these gold balloon section pieces that came on a friend set much like this one. I mean, that looks great, doesn't it? What an awesome shoulder design. And what an awesome piece. Those balloon section pieces, they're some of the most helpful and cool looking Lego parts that they've ever made. Maybe you could build a similar shoulder design next time you build a Bionicle, provided you have some of these pieces in your collection. And if you don't, go on Bricklink and buy some. They're awesome. And finally, Joxon has built Tactical Symbiote Argus. This isn't a direct recreation of any one character, but Joxon himself has said that this was taking a lot of inspiration from Evangelion. And I get it. This aesthetic, this design, it has such an unmistakable look to it. A look that's kind of unlike anything else. And I think that translates perfectly into Bionicle. And you know, that's the thing, right? You could go out and you could go watch some anime. You could watch any of the ones that I mentioned on all of these mocks today. And that's going to be a great source of inspiration. You get to watch anime and build Lego? That sounds like a good day to me. I mean, I'm 400 episodes deep into One Piece right now, and it's delightful. I think I'm like 388, but yeah, it's good stuff. Symbiote Archipelago, I just started. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Blue, white, and black is a stunning color scheme. And the way that the trans green pieces on the eyes and the sword, the way those pop up against this, it's so nice. Oh yeah, and the shoulders as well. That's a great design, but there's a bit of a flex going on here. They're using 2 of these masks in Mutter Blue. Now to get these in Mutter Blue, that is a rare European misprint. Not exactly a cheap mask to own, and Joxon has 2 of them. But still, this is a really nice design. Looks so good here. A little bit of Evangelion love inspiring a nice Bionicle creation. Gotta love it. So that's some different mocks that take a little bit of inspiration from anime. Maybe your next mock could do the same. Did you like some of the creations I showed off today? Well, if you did, be sure to check the links in the description below. You can see more of their work right there. Also in the description and on your screen right now is the submission email. If you'd like to submit your mocks to the Bionicle Inspiration series, you can submit it to that, and I'll do my best to feature your mock in an upcoming episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now. Boop, 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 boop.